magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? This is the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday Night live stream main event. I'm your host, Protoman. I'm the face that runs this place. I'm the voice you hear Monday to Friday. But I'm not alone today. I got some people with me. How are you people doing? Who are these people? Who are these guys to the left of me? We got JawzD with us. To my left over here, or to your right. I don't know how this is oriented. Diagonal to me, we got Mr. Aaron Archer. So I figured we're going to be doing a special one. We'll have a year-end celebration. We'll have a couple guests here to hang out with us, and we'll just talk toys and everything like that. And we'll just enjoy the rest of the evening. We'll cover some news. We're going to be doing a giveaway. All of that stuff, shall we? So first, let's cover the news. But before that, how you doing, Wendell? Nice to see you back, JawzD.
I'm doing good. Just doing
Enjoying
the final
the holidays?
touches of my setup over here.
Yeah. So we're also going to be talking about some stuff we got over the holidays. And Aaron, you got some cool stuff too. I'm sure you'll want to talk about.
I got a few things.
A few things. Got a few
you
toys.
know, I'm an old man dad, so we don't always get a lot, but we're happy with what we get.
Well, you got a nice juicy his tank back there, so that'll definitely.
I did get a nice juicy his tank.
Yeah, that'll definitely be part of the conversation. So we'll just jump into the news quickly. Not much to cover, but just little things here and there, and then we'll just do a giveaway and talk about some sponsorship stuff too, and everything like that. Once again, if you want to be a part of the podcast, super chat, hit that button down there. And super chat your questions. We got 2 fresh new faces, so you might have some questions for them too. So first up, let's talk about some listings. A whole bunch of listings showed up in the retail computers of Target and Walmart. These come courtesy of JT Prime 17. And looks like we're going to be getting some brand new additions to that G.I. Joe collection that we've been talking about for the past couple of, almost a year now. And now a 5th edition to it, the Transformers X G.I. Joe Mobat with Optimus Prime and General Hawk. So the choice of Hasbro to go with the classic 82-83 Mobat, the motorized attack tank, into Optimus Prime. Interesting choice. Probably the reason why they did choose that is something that'll scale with the HISS tank with the Megatron. So pretty cool. What do you guys think about that one?
Kind of a strange choice, a little bit, only because Megatron has been so identified as a tank for so long now. But why not?
What do you think, Wendell? You got the one with Stalker and Bumblebee.
I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. It's really cool, but I kind of do agree, like with Aaron. Like, I mean, you do like. I think your last video you mentioned that it is an iconic, old school kind of vehicle, especially on the GI Joe side. So I mean, I kind of see that. Like, I think when you ever see the HISS tank, you're always like, that's Cobra. Like you instantly know that silhouette, the 2 guns, the big treads coming around. Like, for sure. So it doesn't even matter which Decepticon they have attached to it. It's going to be, that's the bad guy side. But like, if you're trying to think of another G.I. Joe set that would scale, like, you kind of have to make it scale. You want to make that iconic, like these 2 Titans are going at each other and one's not just a giant long, big machine that should scale a way bigger, so it's kind of a tough designer choice, but I think it's probably for the better. And
well, that's
I don't think I'm that upset about it.
A lot of fans were like, "Oh, why wasn't it the Rolling Thunder?" That's what Optimus Prime. And I'm just like, bro, have you ever had a Rolling Thunder? Like, it's like, I have a Rolling Thunder. It was one of the few GI Joe vehicles I had. I had that, the Rhino, and the HISS tank. And that thing is, I mean, if that transformed, that's a Titan class toy. If it's to scale with an O-ring figure. So that couldn't have happened. Rolling Thunder, Fortress Maximus, okay. Then we could have that conversation. Or was it the mobile attack base? What was that big leveled one there that GI Joe had? Or the Defiant?
Oh, yeah.
Or of
Do you
course, I mean,
remember-
everyone says the USS Flag, but I mean, like some of the others,
But
like
he could have been the hovercraft. I mean, that's a pretty
the
what is that,
whale. Which one is that? The whale? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's a fair shape, I guess, and it's a beloved GI Joe vehicle now outside the GI Joe community. It's a big hovercraft, so that suffers there. But
that's and
there are other iconic vehicles, is all.
I think maybe they might be also, and again, I'm not too familiar with, like the 1-for-1 scale of the whale. I haven't messed with one in, I want to say 30 years. So it's something where I'm pretty sure they're also limited by a price point, how much they could fit in a box.
It's bigger, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
wide.
something where. Well, yeah, and again, so it's like, okay, it's going to be Optimus Prime. It transforms, and it's going to have a carded O-ring figure inside the box with it too. There's probably a limitation that Hasbro could go with, and they probably went, well, there's that classic first wave real American hero tank. It's probably not going to have the motorized, gimmick inside it and anything. They're gonna obviously gut that, but I mean, it wouldn't be able to work if it transforms, in my opinion. But it's something where they're gonna figure some way out to do it, just so it scales with Megatron. I mean, it's the same thing. A lot of people are confused with the Bumblebee one, but I also asked them, what would you take him? What would you use for Bumblebee? Like
it's a tough ask.
Yeah, it's like if the Trouble Bubble wasn't part of Cobra, like maybe for Bubble. Like, I mean, I can't even think of anything that would have worked for it. But so I dig it though.
Wasn't there like a ring?
Yeah, well, that's why that's true. That's some of those weird ones.
That ring.
Yeah, that weird mobile. But that's why it's like there's only so much you can pick. But I think it's a good choice. They put it with General Hawk. It doesn't come with the original Mobat came with Steeler, which was, they always had pack-in vehicle drivers that were unique to these vehicles. They obviously went with General Hawk. They want to go with a leader character to go with Optimus Prime. It's kind of like the same thing. They didn't include the his tank driver with Megatron. They included Baroness because it's a more named character that people could identify with, even casual fans. So makes sense. It is what it is. The next thing we're going to cover is there's this Studio Series 86 Voyager class blaster. Just pretty much probably taking that Kingdom blaster, that Legacy blaster, and giving it screen accurate coloring. Not much we could say about that unless we get some photos and, oh, surprise, there's a new sculpt on it or something. But we kind of knew this was happening when they put this out there, and you saw there was translucent plastics on the tape cassette of Eject. It was pretty clear that at some point we'll get a screen accurate version. And I mean, Aaron might deny this, but I've always felt it. I look back, just turn the camera for a moment. I look back at the Cybertron and the Energon line, and I've always been like, they always do the less desirable deco first, and then the more desirable one afterwards. And I don't know if that was intentional or unintentional, but it's a good way to sell two products. And it's the same thing. Everyone probably scrambled for. If we
went in at times, I'll be real brief. If we went in at times 2 fanboy, we'd get kind of questioned. So we go in with our highfalutin ideas and new visions and all this, sure. But then when it came to redeco time, it was like, bam! Now we got Optimus. Now we got this. Now we got that.
Well, that's why it's like, oh, we're going to do this. Is clear.
It wasn't a bait and switch. It was just that was the internal politics to make it happen.
Totally. Well, it's because I'd be like, oh, that should totally be Hot Rod, but we're going to paint it blue first. Oh, that should totally be what's it called, Huffer, but we're going to paint it blue first. Like it's always like, and then we'll do those obvious, oh, look at this Starscream. Before we do it in Starscream colors, we're going to do it in like translucent greens, and then we'll do the Starscream colors later because we're going to make 2 sales. Like. That's just my tinfoil hat. That's how
your purchases and purchase habits are up to you.
Yeah. That's how it was always with me. Got to have them all. Oh God.
But do you think the newer cassette's going to be more like a smoky?
No, I
like
think
a smoky black or something like that. So like an actual cassette tape.
I think they're because the original. Actually, have it nearby here. Coincidentally, they did it in like a translucent blue. they're going to do it
Yeah.
in a solid blue first to be eject,
okay.
and then obviously at some point they'll do the rewind and cassette pack, or maybe a generation selects. Who knows how they'll want to distribute that, but I totally see that kind of happening in the future. So that one. Then we have this Transformers Generation Mayhem Deluxe 2-pack. This is actually labeled as a Amazon exclusive. We don't know if this is an assortment or if this is going to be a whole. Because if you actually look at its product code number, it's a G, which is usually associated with capsules or assortments that are separate from the normal main line historically. So this is going to be an Amazon exclusive. We know that much. Is it going to be multiple? Is it just going to be this 2-pack? All we know is the Mayhem is going to be Mayhem Attack Squad. That's the reason why we have that bludgeon head next to it here in our thing, because it's clearly going to pull from that crew of guys. Who is it going to be though? Is the question. Are we going to get Stranglehold for the first time? Get that Burt Reynolds mustache transformer? Are we going to get some of the others that I always kind of like think about, like Octo Punch? Stranglehold hasn't had a figure in 36 years, so that would be kind of cool. But
Do
Octo
you think they still
Punch,
have the name?
no, hell
Is that
no. They have
is
to
that
would have
name
to.
floating around like on other Hasbro
It's
stuff?
it's a generic. Well, here's the thing: Stranglehold, right? So
Mm.
is that something that maybe they'll have to like tune it? You know, you know, uh, you know,
I think that's
rear hold,
considered.
some hold.
I think by today, that might be a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and again, 36 years ago since the last one,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
not like the one that I was about to mention, Octo Punch. They had Octo Punch. They've used it. They used it with Bakon. They used it recently with Power of the Primes. So that one is proven. It's out there. It's in the archive. Uh, Deluxe Insecticons. They had names like Ransack and Barrage and Chop Shop and Venom. The Venom one might be a little tough,
Oh,
because of
yeah.
certain Marvel characters, but you know, Chop Shop, yeah, I could see them do Decepticon Chop Shop. There's certain ones that I could see them doing because look, they did Ransack and they were able to do that recently, so it shows that some of those names, and Ransack was been used for like movie toys in the past. I think they used it with an airplane at some point during those scouts. So, the Deluxe Insecticons being part of the Mayhem Squad. There's a bunch of characters. There's Beast pretenders like Snarler, Carnivac, Catilla, a lot of those weird ones. None of those have been, again, 36, 35 years. But that's me
Wow.
like reaching. For all I know, watch this, it'll just be a bludgeon. It'll just be a bludgeon and I'm reaching for like the stuff that they haven't done in forever, and it's just bludgeon and Octo Punch. But we'll
Legend
see.
and Friends.
Yeah, we'll see. It would be cool though. Would be cool. Then we have this Mix Mashers assortment. I don't know, Aaron, was this before? It was 2014, so it's right on the cusp of that. The Hero Mashers, were you around for that?
Now, which ones are
Those were
those?
the ones that I wish I had some nearby.
They're
They were
kind of
like
like Build-A-Figures.
figurines. You could take them apart and mix them with all the different brands that Hasbro had at the time: Marvel, Jurassic Park.
Not directly, but slightly. Lenny was working on those, I believe.
I would imagine that's something outside of the regular crew of dudes,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's
Yep.
so because it's all these different brands too.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I
like,
had to go through the Rolodex
yeah,
of
no, totally, yeah.
Vivos,
I should have,
Constructibots.
yeah, well, yeah, it was right around that time.
Yeah.
Constructibots, Creo, like,
Well, it was a big point of contention. We were working on Constructibots on Transformers, and the Marvel Star Wars people were working on that. And at some point, leadership changed, and it all went to that style.
so that's why. But I mean, it's something where it sounds like, judging by these listing here, now they have Mix Mashers, Transformer Mix Mashers, and again, they're going to legendary 7 characters. So the Starscreams, the Bumblebees, the Megatrons, the Optimuses. Like they're going with the expected stuff. And Mix Mashers is something that already kind of exists with the Marvel brand, so it's pretty, which again does what more or less these Hero Mashers were. So we're going to be getting Transformer ones in 2024. So it's just that's the more basic price point stuff. Not really much we could talk about. We don't have photos. We don't have really confirmation. Just we know which characters it'll be, and it'll be the heavy hitters. It'll be those.
So nothing like this has ever come out then.
No,
for Transformers?
no,
Or
they
did?
they did the Hero
Okay.
Mashers one under your tenure, but this is like something new that they're going to be doing now.
No matter the cost.
We got a message from Mr. Bumblebot here. Super chat says full podcast crew tonight. Woohoo! Thank you, Mr.
A little
Bumblebot.
bit.
And then of course the last one here. Not much. It really is just an assortment listing, but there is an importance to it. Transformers 1, which is that new movie we're going to be getting next year, that animated movie. Prime Changers assortment. Only thing worth mentioning about it, because we don't know what Prime Changers are. All we know, it's $59.99, so that could be a big gimmicky item, Christmas item kind of thing, lights and sounds, or it could be a multi-box set, Target exclusive with 3 deluxes in it. We don't know, but all we do know from that listing is we do have a date on it, which is August of 2024, which historically tells us we're going to be getting some toys a month before when the movie's expected, because the movie's expected in September. So that's pretty hype. So we got that too. Not much again. We could really talk about that. We got another super chat. We got David Cabal. Happy New Year 2024. Did you collect G.I. Joe comics? So we'll start with you, Wendell. I know Aaron's answer. We were just talking about this not too long ago.
I think, if I remember right, one of my first few comics as a kid was a G.I. Joe comic, but I think it was like the tail end of a 3-part arc, and it was something where I remember the beginning. I remember the beginning very vividly. It was this crew of people was like a maid and somebody else was going into a hotel room. No one's in there, and then Snake Eyes jumps them.
So you have a Snake Eyes with G.I. Joe comic, which was like the later run of those.
It was later,
Yeah.
and I think it was Snake Eyes and like Cobra Commander on the front cover, like battling it out. And I was like I think it said 2 of
Someone
3
in the
or
chat
3
if
of
they
3.
remember. I don't remember
And
it.
I think that was the only G.I. Joe comic I had. That thing's probably long gone and destroyed. I remember the cover was coming off back then, and so that was it.
Aaron, what about you?
So yeah, I started with issue 14 and was hook, line, and sinker with the show, the cartoon, and the toy, or the comic and the toys. And if it wasn't for G.I. Joe's sequencing of all of those things and the way Hasbro did it, I learned how to do what I did at Hasbro from Hasbro, because that's how much G.I. Joe I consumed. So
Nice.
yeah, I definitely read the comics.
Me, it was issue, I want to say it was 58 or 59, and then a couple issues after that, I got the Dusty issue, which is the one that has Cobra Commander in his metal armor on the cover. Fell in love with the character of Dusty because of that issue, and then almost serendipitous, my friend rented the VHS of The Trader Part 1 and 2, which was also a Dusty episode, and fell in love with that character. So that, like, one of my very first issues. The very first issue of G.I. Joe is long lost, gone forever. Any of my non Marvel DC books, it's crazy. Like, I treated them so badly. Like my very first comic I ever owned was a Fantastic Four comic. I still have it to this day. It's beat up to hell, but I still have it. But my Ninja Turtle books, it's like it's a cover hanging off of it. Like, it's just, it's like I had like no care. It's like, oh, if it's Marvel DC, take care of it. Oh, here's this Batman Arkham Asylum book, take care of it. But oh no, these Turtle books or Ghostbusters from Now Comics back in the day. Oh, throw those like, use them for the dog so they could pee on it or something. I don't know why. And
No.
so and it's weird. So like, even though G.I. Joe was a Marvel book, I didn't see it as one. And so same thing, my only Transformer book I had as a kid, I look at it and I go like, why didn't I take care of this thing? Like, it's insane.
I'm old enough to have bought the original 4 as they came out.
Really? Wow.
As a kid in the local convenience store, like before we even had
the spin rack.
Yeah, before we had a concept that there was a store that only had comic books. Wow, what? I just waited around every week, at my locals. But yeah, I read, and I didn't understand the shift of covers on the Transformer books. That was my takeaway. There was a lot of different styles on those.
Yeah,
first 4 or 5 covers.
Herb Trimp was one of them. God, who's the guy who did
Bill Sienkiewicz?
Bill, yeah, Bill was on. Like, there was like it. You know what it was? That one, that, like, and everyone who worked on that book, right down to Andrew Wildman, they're always like, it was a toy book. you didn't know when it
Yeah.
was going to get canceled.
They were
you
happy
know?
to take the gig, get paid. They
Yeah.
weren't thinking about it ever again. Yeah.
Transformers was supposed to be 4 issues. I think G.I. Joe was supposed to be 4 issues also. Like, and then of course, because it had traction,
Yeah.
they continued more. And then, in the case of Joe, geez, what, 140 issues? Even more than Transformers.
Well, and they're
Transformers,
still going. They're
yeah.
still going now with.
So, good stuff, good stuff. Hope that answers your question, David Cabal, and thank you for the question.
I think I might have some more recent stuff, like just arcs, so just tomes, but I know that was definitely my first one. And then I had toys and everything like that, but yeah, I didn't really get into the comic books as I was like really young kid.
Optimus Power Toy unboxing with the super chat. What is your 2024 toy wishes for Hasbro releases? I'll just go with what's left now because we got my Nitro Convoy Override. And a Hot Rod toy will happen every time. Give me Road King slash Slapdash from Master Force. Give me an updated Power Master Slapdash, aka Road King. I'd like to see that done. Wendell?
As you see here is my little pin over here, my little jazz
I
pin.
knew it was gonna go there.
Oh, and underneath, MP Jazz, MP Jazz. It'll happen. It'll happen. We got.
What? What's hilarious?
Right,
I just want to say something. I remember once, someone once said to me, they're like, does JawzD just like Jazz because he's black? And then I say to it, do people give me shit because I like Larry Bird? Yeah. So, I still think, I still think Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time, but Larry Bird, man. Yeah.
I always tell everybody, like, yes, Jazz is the coded black character, but he was also the guy that hung out with the humans.
Mm-hmm.
He was always the guy that liked he was interested in human culture. He was always hanging out with the humans. It was always him and Bumblebee and Hound for the most part. Otherwise, everybody else is kind of like, oh, well, I have to do my job, and this is my job, and they're not really focused on the human characters like that.
And he was the second in command, which, historically up to that point, when you really think about it, like, you didn't really see that a lot. I think the only one I ever bring up, like, if anyone in the chat remembers Cops Fighting Crime in a Future Time, like, the black dude was the leader of that,
Yeah.
So it's like, but you rarely saw that in fiction. It was very rare for like a black coded character or just a black character in general to kind of have like a commanding role. It was not very common. I mean, I look at like G.I. Joe. Who do you have? You had like, geez, what was his name there? Fisto? No, not Fisto.
Yeah,
who was the
Stalker and Doc?
Yeah, Stalker, but those were again like not like leader roles per se, And G.I. Yeah, like you said, Stalker, Doc, Roadblock.
There was a general later.
Was there? I know there was the first time a G.I. Joe, I guess we'll call it Viper, was ever separately identified was a black character that was in the trailer. It wasn't but again, it was the 80s. It was different, but Jazz was something different. They got Scatman Crothers to do the voice, did an incredible job, and just knocked it out of the park. Aaron, what's your wish for Transformers that you'd like to see? I'm pretty sure some of your boys you'd like to see updated.
Well, we haven't seen much confirmation, but we'll see.
That's definitely that. I've seen that
for that guy.
I've seen listing, and it's funny because Aaron can't see it, but his advertisement for his web shop there actually has a Vector Prime head next to it. So let's just say I know him well more than he thinks, So, but yeah, it's something where him too. There's been confirmation of listings and stuff, so there's a strong possibility of that they want to revisit that character for sure. JR Mina from the Philippines, wishing everyone a blessed and abundant 2024. Well, thank you, JR Mina.
Thank you. Back to you.
Yeah. So, what else for news? Not much else. This is just coming straight out of Wonder Festival, so I just want to cover this one here. So, last year, Wonder Festival Summer 2023, although it's technically this year, but whatever, we're almost at last year now at this point. We had a Sufobi of Optimus Primal, Optimal Optimus that was sold there, and it was very well received by the fans, ridiculously expensive. This was done by an individual by the name of Neo Player One, who does these by hand. He gets a 1-day license from Tommy Takata to do these, and he's going to be doing another one coming up now in the summer edition. And we have not summer, actually. I think it's the winter edition they're going to be doing it. But the 2024 Wonder Festival Primal Prime repaint. What's interesting about this, actually, this is one of the figures that Aaron worked on. Not this exact figure, but the original and the repaint, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
Remember, we did a individual segment talking about this guy, how you got that gig because no one else wanted it.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit on my last live, I believe, too, where kind of an odd duck and one of my first Transformer leadership opportunities, quote unquote.
Do you know why you think everyone just wanted to avoid being involved with it? Was it because it was such a large price point or a weird ask at the end of the line?
No, I don't want to get into it too much, but it was largely internal politics and
okay.
in fiefdoms and who didn't want to have eyes where they didn't want to have eyes kind of stuff.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
And didn't want to do products that would cause them to have to work harder, perhaps. And so they were pushing back against it, which made the boss really push for it more. So that thing has it was like, we want this. Oh, we don't want to do that. Oh, okay. We want this. You know, it was that kind of situation. So,
and again, it's
political.
Well, especially because from the perspective of a fan, it's like there never was a price point like that up to that point in Beast Wars. It was such a weird item. Electronics, big, huge packaging, huge price point, clear plastics, chromes, spring-loaded lights, just battery packs, 4 different alt modes, all these things. And it's like
Kenner toys, Kenner toys.
Yeah, Kenner toys with wheel. Well, yeah, you take that Batman background and you put it into that, and then you really see what's going on there. Spring-loaded shields and everything. Yeah. It's very it's something out of Total Justice. I don't know why. It just feels like something.
That's why we all know it's a weird one now.
Yeah. Another thing too, this was a weird one. Someone found an old photo. I hope, I think I sent you guys the slides of this one. So someone found an old photo in Takara's offices of a Transformer item that we did not know existed. It was a completely gold chromed Super Ginrai, aka Power Master Optimus Prime. And people all over, and I'm actually quite shocked the community hasn't really figured out what this is yet, because and that's why I posted on the right there for people who are looking. There's an Optimus Prime statue there. The whole story with that, and this isn't confirmed, but I know of the 2 other examples of this, which was Takara used to do what were called employee galas. And all this information comes courtesy of my buddy Hydra in Japan, and he translated a lot of those pedestals and stuff like that, what's written on them. And essentially was Takara actually used to celebrate anniversaries of toy lines if they went past 3 years. And they would actually give these like little statues to the employees as kind of a celebration of that. So the Optimus Prime, the regular 1984 Optimus Prime one, was actually celebrating at the time, the 3rd anniversary of Transformers, 1987. July 11th, 1987. And it was just a little Optimus Prime one. The following year, after that, they did one with Chrome Dome. They did it in silver. And then this one here, obviously, would probably be for Master Force in 1989. And they used the Power Master one, aka Super Jinrai. So a lot of people were confused by that. They're like, what is this? Is this a lucky draw that never happened or something? It's like, guys, you should know this. It's if you own the Transformers Generations guidebook, which I don't want to reach for it now because I'm wearing a headset. It's literally on the upstairs. Aaron, open it to the first page. Like, open it to the first page. Literally. Or second page. Yeah, boom. Thank you. Come on, guys. You should know this. So, but I was surprised. Even like big names in the Transformer community were confused by, what is this? Is it a lucky draw? I'm like, come on, guys.
Well, I mean, like if it's on a pedestal, you would assume it's like a prize or congratulations or something like that,
But it's something that Takara would do every so. They used to do it with Pokemon, because I remember those were kind of kicking around. It's like a little Pikachu on a car. They used to do it with some of their other Takara like weird robot lines.
It's a subtle teamwork thing, and they work very hard and as a team, so after certain metrics, they do want to perk and celebrate and that kind of stuff in subtle
That's
ways.
cool.
They don't do it with big bonuses or raises. They do it with thank yous and trophies and
a different culture there, like you've said.
yeah, it's very
You
different.
more than any of us would know that. You were
Yeah.
there. You were knee deep in that for quite
So
a few
those are
months.
those
Yeah.
are kind of corporate appreciation things as well.
Well, that's what I imagine because it literally on the pedestal it says Takara Employee Gala. It almost sounds like an award ceremony.
Yeah.
Now obviously I'm romanticizing it in my mind where they're probably in suit and tie and they're in like a fancy,
Yeah, it could just
dining
be
hall.
use of the word. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and Japan's notorious for that. We got a gold super chat for $20 from DRT is King. I have one question. Why hasn't there been a Chinook helicopter transformer? It seems like a miss since they could have done a Mr. Sinister style bot, I guess like with the cape, I'm assuming. Are there any other vehicle modes that we expect to have done, but would you have expected to have done, but haven't? So we'll bring that straight to Aaron. The Chinook helicopter, not too familiar with that. I'm not a big aviation dude.
That's the
It's
like
like
the GI Joe helicopter with the two blades, like the big
okay.
the blade in the front and the blade in the back.
big
It's
orange
like a
one.
transport helicopter.
Yeah.
wasn't that what we did that as a movie toy? No, unless I'm wrong. Incinerator?
No, that's a VTOL. That's
Oh, it's a VTOL. Okay, I'm so bad. There's probably aerial guys are yelling at the screen right now, but
yeah.
so
No, yeah. I don't have my GI Joe books here. Or do I?
I think the closest you would kind of get, I'm just Googling right now, is maybe Searchlight from Power Core Combiners. That's like it's not 100% that,
Yeah.
but it's the
I know
closest
who
you'll
you're.
get
I'm
to
looking at
to
him
one of
right
those.
now. Yeah, yeah, you okay? You could barely
That's
see
the
him.
closest. I'm seeing here Ultimate CH4 47 Chinook helicopter. That's the closest.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh wait, hold on. Nope, this is eBay. Nope, wrong one.
I got two guys now that could pull up books at this point.
I don't. This isn't it. Never mind.
Twin rotor transport. See, some people are saying like,
Yeah, it's hard to explain from our.
yeah. Though I'm very ignorant with that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, some people are saying it's
But
like Blackout.
like blackout, but it's not 100% blackout though.
Okay.
It's more like the Russian ones that used to be in Afghanistan in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would get. They're big. They're big.
Or like, hold on, didn't they have something like that in Vietnam too? Or am I wrong?
Well, it started
No.
as a Russian thing. But
Okay.
against the Chinook, I think.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Like the one I'm looking up, I think Boeing made one as well.
I could be
take a
wrong
look.
on that too, but
No, I think the one you're probably thinking about is the Hind D, or at least I'm talking in terms of like Metal Gear Solid. Let me just see if that's even. Let's see, Hind D.
And then they said so the robot mode. If they could have done something with a Mr. Sinister style bot mode, I guess because maybe all of those. Oh, I
Well,
think I know what he means because Mr.
Nope, not
Sinister
Hind
had
D,
a
sorry.
he had
Yeah, it
a
has
he had a stringy kind of cape, so I guess that would have been the propellers.
yeah, the two
Yeah.
propellers would have given you.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I
the
see what.
closest,
It's
so the closest thing I'm seeing right now is just if you could create an Autobots or Decepticons for TF6, someone made a character called Obsidian, and exactly what you're saying, the two
Using that
blades
trademark.
come down like a cape,
Okay.
and then like his body kind of snakes around. So just like a thread on TFW 2005, basically.
So someone used the Beast Machine's trademark pretty much. And then they said if there was a vehicle mode that you would have liked to see, but they've never done, what would you like to see? I'll just go quick. I always love Formula One Transformers, but that'll just be the easy answer. What hasn't been done? I mean, ever since BotBots, gosh, what hasn't been done? I don't know. Just give me another open wheeler. I love my Formula One cars. Like I always like. Give me a non-Mirage one. Give me a red Formula One. Call it Proto. I'm just saying. Put a number. Put a number 27. I'm just saying, Evan and Mark. And you haven't done that repaint yet. I don't know. That's a tough one because there's just. I feel like so much has already been done. I don't know, Wendell. Maybe you'll think of something, but.
I don't know, man. I feel like I agree with you. Everything's kind of already been done.
Ever since BotBots did everything. Soccer balls. Oh, you know what? There hasn't been a basketball transformer. There was a soccer transformer. There was a hockey puck. Geez, they did
Really?
everything. Like it's like they haven't done a
They
basketball
did,
yet, but there's a bootleg basketball transformer that transforms in Yao Ming, but that's a bootleg.
did you
Straight
do a
out of China.
shuttlecock? How about that?
Oh, shuttlecock.
I
Yeah.
haven't done a shuttlecock.
And you got to give
That's my answer.
it an extremely like suggestive name instead of shuttlecock. You got to give it like
Badminton transformer.
you could say it's named after the CEO of Hasbro, Chris Cox. I don't know. So, but yeah, Aaron, anything you would have liked to
No.
see? Altma, nothing.
No. I would just in general say that it's fun when you get a chance to do something that hasn't been done before. Like even as dumb as like the Minicon skateboard is, I'm still proud I did a skateboard.
Hey man,
hey,
like,
it's the first time, or Skylab, or so it is fun anytime you can do a first time weird vehicle.
You made a skateboard and you named it Grindor. Most people would never be able to get away with that. I'm gonna call it Grindor. We got a super chat from the Philippines, JR Mina, for 125 Filipino pesos. Since Proto and JawzD already did their top 5 Transformers of 2023, what is Aaron's top 5 Transformers of 2023? Additionally, what do you think are the worst toys of 2023? Worst ones are tough because I don't really buy things that I feel are going to be crap, and it's very rare that I buy something that I feel is bad. Like, I mean, and this is coming from, I've, not to brag, but I've messed with almost everything. And I could only name like maybe 5 Transformers I had a bad experience with. Like an animated activator that was broken out of the box, or in general, it's Transformer toys are pretty awesome. I've messed with bad frozen joint Marvel Legends, but that's more of a QC thing, if anything. It's not really the fault of the toy per se. It's just they, frozen joints and that. But I don't know. I never really have a worst of, unless it's like, oh, GPS, clear plastics that break over time. But I'm pretty sure that wasn't the intent when they made it. People always ask me what's my least favorite Transformer of all. I say like Beast Machine's Night Scream, only because he was like a big toy that was out of scale with everyone else, and then years later, the clear plastic also made it fragile. And he's not a popular character, so there's the threefer. Out of scale, doesn't work with your toys. Clear plastic, so it's fragile, and not a popular character. But in general, I can't even think anything outside of that. And JawzD, I don't know.
My toy collection isn't as crazy and in depth as yours, Protoman. So I usually try to buy the things that I like and try to really scale it down to.
Are you sure you're not in Akihabara? Are you just in Akihabara? Is that all this is? This is a shill. You aren't in Montreal. You're in Akihabara right now. And that's just a toy store.
And that's just one room. I was talking with Aaron recently, like, hey, if he comes down for the anime convention, he could stay in my spare room. And then I think he made a joke. He's like, is that the room that has the Animal Crossing and Hello Kitty? I was like, no, that actually has Thunderbirds and Marvel stuff.
Oh, you're not gonna put him in the room with the Arthur and the Knights of Justice or the Cowboys?
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice room, and the big bad Beetleborgs. It's like, oh god, you have no idea. You have no idea. You have to have a really good woman. Let's put it that way.
I honestly couldn't say there's one that's like, oh, I hated. Why did I buy? I need to get rid of it. Like, no, I'm sorry.
So from the inside, I would say the worst one are the ones that sit on the pegs, the ones that didn't need to get made or didn't need to waste the plastic to make as many as they did make. Those are the worst ones to me.
So then the first one that you touched
that got you there.
The first one that you touched that had that problem would have been Armada Smokescreen. And you've said bad things about Armada Smokescreen. Yeah. And so it's Armada Smokescreen. I don't blame Laserbeak because he was a weird price point. I think people that I feel that I call it sticker shock, which is I think people picked that one up and they went to go check out and then went, oh wait, why is this one $5 more than all the others? And it's the same packaging. Yeah, so that one I don't blame it because I kind of like the Laserbeak. It's not that bad. It's it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. It's a role play item. No, that's always been a tough one. It's always been like I've rarely bought in a toy and like went, oh, like I think everything has an intended experience. Like when you mess with like a Mighty Max toy, you're not going to complain about articulation. You know what I mean? Like it's like, and if you mess with, when you mess with a Barbie doll, you're not going to complain about plastic quality. And if you're going to mess with a Lego brick, you're not going to complain about like, oh, hey, the paint apps are shit on it. Like there's kind of like, because I've collected so many different toy lines, I get different experiences out of everything I mess with, even if it's the same brand. And, I've never really had a Transformer I didn't like. They all have, a Micromaster has its appeal, an Action Master has its appeal, and a super articulated, crazy $300 Masterpiece has its appeal, So it's, like I said, outside of something breaking, but that's more because of GPS.
Hey, because they asked, my top 5 are pretty easy. The Optimus, Megatron, Armada Dragon, I'm pretty sure, or Beast Wars,
so Armada Megatron. I probably should have made the slide for that. Yeah. Armada Megatron, Armada Megatron, Dragon Megatron, Armada Optimus Prime. We need 2 more from you.
Toxitron.
Okay, that's a good one. A lot of people voted for that.
For sure. I gotta pick. I want to pick one that isn't, self-referential. But it's probably one of the Toxitron colorways. I was really impressed that they went that crazy with.
That was one I almost was tempted.
I'll give props to the color guy on that wave.
The watermelon Mirage, the hot Cheetos Jazz. Like.
Absolutely.
How they were able to like convince, mind you, it was a store exclusive, so I think that's what probably greased the wheels. It's like, oh well, Walmart's vouching for it, so.
I remember we were at TFCon, I think in Toronto, and then I think it was the Sideswipe that came out.
Oh, the Sideswipe one also, has that weird.
Everyone's like, "Did you see it when you came here? Did you see it?" Everyone's going nuts trying to hunt that down.
There it is. So. There it is, his big boy. That was voted again. Cool. Voted number 1. It wasn't even a question. It was insane. Cool. It was like everyone, and to the point people were complaining. They were saying like, next year don't allow commander classes. I'm like, nah, it has nothing to do with commander class, because past years that me and JawzD have done this, commander classes wouldn't win. It would be like a really good leader, a really good Voyager class. No, people, if anything, I feel commander classes sometimes they don't get as many votes because not everyone could afford them. Especially now. I mean, that Optimus comes out in the pre-inflation price point. What is it? $100 now or something it is, that one? What's the MSRP in the States? I think it's something like that. So it's like where I think the Commanders originally were 65. I mean, mind you, when I say 65, like 2017, but still, it's a different world. So I thought it would get less votes, but nope, people really liked it. And I'm, as someone who's owned the original and could compare between the two, it's night and day.
It's like to me it's kind of weird because it's like the companion to Bendy Prime if you didn't have the overlay of the feature, because Bendy Prime makes sense with this one.
Well, it's as if, because like Bendy Prime was like, we're not going to put the electronics and the infrared in it, so now that it doesn't have that, it could be a little more, and that's where its name comes from, a little more bendy, a little more articulated. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like, well, since it doesn't have the infrared and the Bendy Prime, what does that mean for the trailer? Well, I guess it doesn't have to have, it's opening onion, banana peel kind of gimmick that it originally did.
Blooming onion.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was going with. Yeah.
That wasn't the curse word I used to use with it, but sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so it is what it is.
When we did our top 5, I remember we saw the images of it, like, in prototype, and that was a few years ago. So we're like, where is it? It's not here?
Yeah.
Where is it? Everyone's like,
well, because Takara would do votings with the fans for Masterpiece, and they'd always be like, well, what's the next leader Masterpiece you guys like to see? And Armada Prime would always make like the 1 or 2. It was always that and Jinrai. And I guess it was just them going like, it's not the right time. Like, let's wait for an anniversary or something. And that's exactly what they did. They waited for 20th anniversary of Armada, and they do that because it's the more romanticized way to do it. And
Yeah.
I actually kind of agree with it because there's also a smart business side of it, which is like, well, now those fans are 20 years older. Now they got disposable income. We could do it proper.
Yeah.
We could celebrate it and they get a paycheck, so now they could go out and buy it. So there's almost a smart business side to it too from the timing. But yeah, 109. Thank you, Timu. It was how much the Armada was.
Wow.
109.99. So $110. Man, it's gone up like $30 since the inflation. Anyways, such an expensive hobby. So aside from that, let me see. We don't have any other questions yet. We'll jump into that because we have a lot of other stuff we still got to cover. So we have a giveaway. What we're going to do is we're going to do the giveaway. We'll just keep that simple. John, my mod, is here. Yes, he is. Okay, because he's going to be handling that. We're doing a giveaway today. Just one. Just want to do one at the end of the year. Then we'll do the sponsorship stuff, talk about that, and then just take super chats from the fans for the rest of the night. We still got a good hour left. So our giveaway today comes courtesy of Binth Studios, and we will be giving away today a quite a really good item. I'd like to hear Aaron's thoughts on it because he actually was working on this back in the day. The fan voted figure, very first one. We're going to be giving away today a 100% complete deluxe class Windblade, the fan vote version, with the comic book that came with it, the exclusive comic book and everything. This comes courtesy of Binth Studios as the giveaway today. And the easy question we're going to ask, very easy question. What year did this figure come out? Because it came out during the Thrilling 30. There's your hint. So, but what year did that come out? In the meantime, while people chime in their answers, Aaron, what could you tell us about this one? Because you were around when they were working on this.
I was around. I was knee deep in movie 2, I believe, or something. Not to give another hint there, maybe, but they worked really hard on really providing those tiered options on the internet at the time. The website, it wasn't the Ask Vector Prime era, was it?
I want to say that came earlier, the Ask Vector Prime one. Yeah, I want to say that was like
but they worked really
2010.
hard to tier the different options and really cater what became this character. I wish they did a little bit more of that, probably, just to make products even. That'd be fun. Maybe it doesn't have to become the a member of the team right away, but kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's something where after you guys did this, sometimes it's like you do these kind of like these fan vote kind of things, and a character is put together, and then that's it. Then the character's made, you put the figure out, you do the trademark, and then that's the end of it, right? But this character went on to be featured in a lot of other stuff, featured in animations, multiple animations, kind of like found her way. And I arguably say that she's kind of become the Wonder Woman outside of RC, like the female representation of the brand.
I agree with that. However it was crafted was, I would say, geniusly crafted for the various story possibilities, because it's an Autobot that's a female that was desperately needed, that flies, which is not
common. Yeah,
not common on the Autobot. So it serves a lot, and red, so kind of red and black, really kind of cool kabuki look. So it really served a lot of opportunity.
It really did. And again, it's something where it kind of, female character, not a lot of those kicking around, especially at that time. Now it's a little more common, but female character, unique color scheme. It's an Autobot that flies. It uses a sword. Usually we lean so much quickly on guns and stuff with that, or spring-loaded missiles. So there's a lot of unique things. And I think that, again, that was also due to the fans voting that. I think they were just kind of voting against the grain of what was so common. They wanted something that was unique for once. So pretty, I like it. I like it a lot. I love the character of Windblade. The translucent on the sword was awesome. Very, very cool. So we're going to let those answers do their thing. One moment. I'm just going to close this because I'm using two separate screens here. There we go. So John's going to collect the answers, and then we'll pull a name out of a hat. Just want to make sure, John. Okay, perfect. We'll pull a name out of a hat in 15 minutes or so. He's just going to put them all together. Some good guesses though. Okay, so let's do some sponsorship stuff. We'll just do quickly again. Symbiote Studios, Plush pins and T-shirts. Once again, their Ultra Magnus is going to be coming out in 2024 next year, so stay tuned for that and the pre-orders. The Transformer Slag podcast will keep you posted on everything that's going on with Symbiote Studios. So we got the Ultra Magnus coming. If you have not gotten any of the others yet, they're selling out fast on their website. We've already sold out of the Optimus, the Bumblebee, the Grimlock, the Soundwave, the Wheeljack, the Catnip Bravo one. The Unicron is long gone. But there's still quite a few left. They are going to do restocks on some, but not all of them. So stay tuned for that. But go check out symbiotestudios.com as well as pick up all their other plushes, G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, Power Rangers, Magic the Gathering pins, everything of that. And of course, just want to give a shout out just quickly to Anda Seats. This will be their last mention here on the podcast. Thank you, Anda Seats, for being a sponsor for the good, I want to say 11 months, and sending me a nice, comfy chair, as well as sponsorship and everything like that. And of course, let's talk about Aaron Archer. Aaron Archer's here today, so we're going to first talk about the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. We have a brand new segment that we put up, what was it, yesterday? It went live. We're talking about Tidal Wave. We're going to be talking about Tidal Wave front and back. I went back when I was editing it. Man, did we cover everything about Tidal. I don't think there's a single thing we left out about that character. Like we talked about animation, we talked about merchandising, we talked about the colors, we talked about the price point, we talked about the engineering, like we talked about the new one. Like a good hour-long segment covering every facet of that character and his design. So go check that out. The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. The Tidal Wave segment, go throw that in your YouTube search. Just type the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer and go check that out. And again, if you haven't been subscribed yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you here listening to me when you could listen to that instead? So and I think I'm there too sometimes. And of course, go check out Aaron's new book, The Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 2 Color Edition. Again, this is available on archermonster.com/shop, or just check out archermonster.com for all your Aaron Archer needs. Volume 2 is $20, and for an extra $15, you could get a custom sketch put inside the book. Aaron, pull it up, Aaron, because I put a slide up.
Yeah, no,
there you go. There it is. He'll do a sketch for you on. Do you have a sketch on that one?
I do.
There you go. So he'll do a nice sketch for you on the inside there of the character of your choosing. Just let him know who you'd like to get. That's an extra $15 for the sketch. He'll sign it for you. Look at that. Look at that beautiful art. You're giving it away, Aaron. Don't give away too much. Yeah. But good stuff. And of course, also, Aaron has a whole bunch of the instructions paintings, Posca paintings. They will be 25% off starting today, and this will be ending January 3rd, 2024. The 25% off you will get at checkout. So the prices that you do see on the web store are not the 25% off prices. So just add it to your cart, go to checkout, and the 25% off will kick in. So if there's anything you're interested from that, there's a whole bunch of beautiful ones. That Unicron one is looking real good. That deluxe Cybertron Unicron, that one's looking really nice. Even some of those Lego ones, I'm surprised people aren't jumping in on those. I'm tempted if I could find a junker extra Spyrius from the 90s, I'd get you to do one for me. Of the cyborgs.
I'm game.
The cyborg, I have to find one. I have to find one first, but because I love Spyrius, I had some of the first Lego robot minifigs were from that. So, but yeah, check it out, archermonster.com. There's the Unicron. Let me close that. There you go. There's the Unicron one. Go check those out. Show the sticker on the back. You have the little authentication sticker on the back too. So it's legit. Has a little QR code. You could scan that. Takes you to the website. Nice, beautiful, original 20 to 25-year-old paper. So the paper alone is vintage. And then a painting on top of it.
Again, what's that say about me? What's that say about me?
What does that say about me and my receding hairline? Please, we're all here. Look at that, the Grand Convoy, aka Energon Optimus, beautiful stuff. Again, archermonster.com. Link is in the middle over here. It'll be here the rest of the segment. If you forget, it'll be right there. You can't see it, but they can see it. So go check it out, archermonster.com/shop. We got a $5 super chat from T-Formers 2002. Something I find odd with Takara Deco of Tidal Wave that's now on the new one is it isn't very show accurate. It's odd that the orange was added afterwards. Well, I think in our segment, and I managed to find this when I was doing some looking through my own personal archives. I found an Eric Siebeneller deco sheet. And it was something that I think you submitted to tfw.info back in the day to Antoine. It was the desk of Aaron Archer, I think he called it or
Oh
something.
yeah, we used
Yeah.
to do sort of.
So I
Q&A
had
thing.
it like in an old file because what I'll sometimes do is after we do our segment together, I'll just go to my old hard drives. I have a couple Seagate hard drives of some of my old backups and stuff, and I'll just type title and see what comes back. Not so much Tidal Wave, but title or TW, and just see what I saved throughout the years. Oh, he's pulling out something.
Okay.
Going into here we go.
I digress. If we can find the plug to operate this hard drive,
Wendell, hook up a brother. Hook up a brother.
I think. Ooh, what the heck is that?
I need a wall plug for that.
Wendell's like, what the F is that?
I thought I might have had something similar, but I was like, no, that's a bit different.
I'll send you a proper picture.
Right.
But if we can get into this, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-Man was the number one game in arcades when he had that.
Might be interesting stuff.
Jeez.
Is the connector on that a USB? Is it?
No, he would have plugged it in if it was a USB.
I could plug this into my computer because it's
okay.
USB.
Yeah,
I need a power.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wonder if you could just open it and then put it into another case.
I'm an artist.
That's my more like mad scientist.
That's
like,
all I got.
You know what? Aaron, send Wendell the back of it, and I'm sure Wendell could find something. He's good with that.
I'll see what I could do.
Yeah, he could direct you to an Amazon link or something that could.
Yeah, I've looked up some stuff at different times. We can figure it out. Now that I put it out there, I'm sure we have the. Because
there's probably gold on there, man. Well, that's why, because so many times, I'll be talking about something and I'm like, I know the image exists, but old internet sometimes just gets wiped out. That's the sad thing. So I can't Google it anymore. So I have to then go through.
I can't confirm nor deny what might be on there, but I know.
I got like 5 of these Seagates. And they're just all of them. So I have so many of these that are just filled with, and I'm no joke. It sounds like I'm like a crazy hoarder in case you didn't notice. But it's it's something where I have all my old files from my computer back in '98. That's how far back it goes.
Jeez.
I just because at first I was CD burning them, and then then I was taking it off of the CDs because my dad was like, light memory deletes itself after 20 years because his old music CDs from 1988 don't work anymore. And I was going oh my God, so I'm freaking out. And I'm so I started backing up everything on these Seagates. And so I got old beastwars.com, which was the video game website for Hasbro Interactive. I have the old files of that, weird old, again, Web 1.0 back in the day stuff. I have all backed up. So I have old Duke Nukem maps of Beast Wars. That goes down the rabbit hole. But anyways, one day I'll post that on my .com or something. But yeah, aside from that, just want to also talk about stuff that we got, kind of like a show and tell, because I kind of have a few little cool things. I know a lot of people appreciate these. Actually, none of them are Transformer related, though, but they're all really cool. It was all stuff that I got, I guess, during the holidays. I got some nice packages in the mails from friends and family. And I don't know, JawzD, do you want to start? And then I'll show some wackiness.
So I guess a little bit before the holidays, I was getting some stuff from Magic Square, some third-party toys. So they finally finished their Bruticus. So here's their Blast Off.
Those are the smaller ones, right?
The smaller ones, yeah. The really articulated what do you call it again?
Like a core class, not core, scout.
Scout class, yeah. So here you go. And they really transform really well. They're really articulated. They're really nice. Really enjoyed them. Oh, and they also did a reissue of Jazz. right here. This is the really nice one. It's so I have this one from Magic Square, and I also got the one from New Age some time ago. Some other random ass stuff. Got me a Predator Jungle Hunter from Haya from there.
Aya Toys, yeah.
Haya Toys. Funny thing about these guys, the see-through one, I think there's like a few people online have been doing some really funny videos where pictures where they're like it's like Predator 1 and Bill Duke's character and what was the guy that played Action Jack? Dylan. The guy that played Dylan.
Carl Weathers. Carl
Weathers are like, he's like, what are you looking at? And he's like, look up there in that tree. And then someone puts this guy on top of the tree as the tree topper of their Christmas tree. And he's just like hanging there looking down. Or they're like, they take another toy, they put it in a net, and he's there just standing there like, you know, I caught these people and stuff like that. So like people have been having fun with these toys for Christmas. And then one of the cool things I got for Christmas was from my fiance. It's a little bit nerdy, not really toy related.
As opposed to everything else we've been talking about?
Yeah. This is like a little bit obscure. But these like really nice slate coasters that you got customized. And you see here.
The second you say slate coasters, it's the opposite of nerdy. It's actually like classy.
So here we go. This is Monza, Italy.
Oh,
F1
racing
track.
stuff. Yeah, shit. That's really nice. Oh, snap.
Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Oh, fuck. No, I want that. Oh, please tell me you have a Gilles Villeneuve track.
That's the last one, baby.
Us! Hold on a second.
And they tell you the length,
literally,
the number of laps.
I just want to give a shout out quickly. Mikey and Louie hooked me up because I've been trying. This is Gilles Villeneuve's rookie card, by the way.
No way.
I've been hunting for this forever, and I know. Because to Aaron, this doesn't mean anything, but if you're a big Formula One guy, especially from Montreal, yeah. So shout out to Mikey and Louie because you know when you're buying a trading card and you're Canadian, they think you live on the moon. You know, where are you located? Canada? What? Okay, $38 shipping. What? You know, it's like okay, the card's already going to set me back. That's really cool. That is that is really cool. That is really cool.
I'm just really nice. I wasn't expecting it, but like so every whenever there's a race, I always kind of look at the highlight reels because now we finally get that as now that their F1 is finally coming to the 21st century and the big push of Drive to Survive on Netflix. A lot of North Americans.
It's very social media, digital. There's cameras everywhere. Like.
What's awesome right now is that, you know, if you're not super into F1 and you don't understand all the things they're talking about, oh, the DRS zone and this, that, you could just go to F1's YouTube channel, type in DRS, and they'll tell you what it is. They'll explain it to you. So you're not like always in the dark about all this stuff and everything.
I watch Formula One religiously, and I look at other sports that I also watch religiously, and I go, they're going to learn something from Formula One because Formula One is like they're really teaching and they're growing and there's so much but again, they just document everything. There's cameras everywhere now. There's so much more in the digital age than other sports. And I look at how other sports, there's decline in interest because kids don't play sports anymore. They don't care as much. They could look at what Formula One's doing and adapt that in a lot of ways. Man, we got a lot of super chats coming in. Don't worry, guys. We'll get to them. A lot of them are popping in here.
But yeah, that's me. That's me. That's my holidays.
Okay, before we get to Aaron, let's just get these super chats because I don't want to leave people hanging. Cringe McCringle with $5 super chat. Since you guys are both here, when are we going to get a Toy Armada segment based on the 2007 movie? That was my whole childhood. Laugh out loud. Well, I will say this. Me and Aaron for 2024, for sure, we're definitely going to do Energon. I think that's one that a lot of people have been requesting, and it just makes sense. I feel that movie will come, but I feel there's still a lot of other stuff on the plate and non-Transformer stuff on the plate that needs to be kind of covered.
Yeah. Batman Beyond's on the short list.
Yeah, Batman Beyond especially. That one too, like I go to one of my local toy shops and I've been looking for your items that are there because he has a lot of them. Yeah, so but Got to get it ready.
Because no
For
one
the-
wanted them. No.
What? You know what? We'll just cover this now. The only thing that bothered me with that line, there wasn't a good vanilla Batman Beyond in that
No.
whole line. There wasn't there wasn't a single one, and that to me,
Why?
that's like
Why
like
wasn't there one? That's
You know
weird.
you know the
you
concept
gotta have this on top of Laser Batman. Like you know what I mean?
that
How do you?
that was an edict from the president. He didn't want he didn't want it was like a nail house or something. He was gonna
Aw.
Yeah, and I always found that so weird because
Even
every
like-
Go ahead,
even
Wendell. Sorry.
Even my first animated Batman toy I was like, oh, I have to, like, I was a kid, and I was like, I have to find the gray regular Batman.
And we didn't make a lot of those.
Got it.
Even
I will speak of it too. As a kid, you always want that vanilla one first, and then you could then go wild and get your Arctic Attack, Heat Sink, but you still want to get that one that's the vanilla one. And I remember when that show came out, I loved the show, and I looked at the toy line, and I was just like, did I miss, did someone buy all the vanilla ones, and all I'm seeing is, Heat Sink edition, deluxe this.
I got a pretty in-depth, pretty
We'll get into it for sure. We will. Yeah. That's something that was like the one, literally I have like a list of questions. That's like question number 1, which is like, cause you look at all the other even look at Total Justice, which is supposed to be such a gimmick line. Everyone's at least in their vanilla colors under all that armor,
Yep. It gets into marketing of the era and licensing partnerships coming to a re-sign soon. There's a lot of things that are going to be floating in that one to cover.
Also want to give a quick shout out, guy that we've talked about on the podcast in the past with Aaron Archer, Ken Lashley. He's in a new documentary that's on Tubi right now called Canadian Superheroes. And he's on that. They interview him for talking about Captain Canuck. I didn't even expect him to be on it. I don't know why. Like I was just watching, like, oh, is that Ken Lashley? Yeah,
he's a great guy.
He worked on Beast Machine stuff. Like a lot of people don't realize he had his fingers in Transformers.
Armada.
DC stuff. Like a lot of that's probably why he was there. Maybe it was for the DC stuff.
So a little aside, you know how I talk a lot about Marcello and Ken Christensen and Emiliano. Those were kind of like the guys I used. The Marvel Star Wars guys and G.I. Joe guys used Ken. And they used Ken so much that I didn't have access to Ken. And I used these guys so much they didn't have access to them. And so that's why that stuff happens that way.
Super talented dude. I was just surprised. I was just
again.
I think it's called it's on Tubi. It's called The Birth of Canadian Superheroes, because the whole documentary, what it's about essentially is because when World War II happened, all of a sudden there was like a paper deficit. Like you couldn't use paper pretty much because of World War II. Everything was like, resources have to be kept. So American comic books were not going to be sent to Canada. So because there was this power vacuum, there's no American comic books, Canadians started making their own superheroes. And that's where that all started. There was like what's it called there? Johnny Canuck, which is where that term comes from today. Comes from Johnny Canuck and the whole bunch. It's very interesting, super interesting documentary. I was just watching it the other day. And of course, has Richard Comley, Captain Canuck and everything and all the other guys. Super interesting. Very cool. Sorry to just go off on a tangent there, but just no, because when he mentioned, I was like, oh yeah, it's true, Ken. I wanted to mention him too. We got a $2 super chat from Alden Tolbert saying, wishing you all a happy new year. Thank you, Alden Tolbert. MMA Panda with the gold super chat for $10. I would like to see more Transformer crossovers. An A-Team Transformer would be good. Oh, Ironhide Van, of course. Maybe using the Ironhide or Bulkhead. Some minor tweaks would be good. I've always said it. MMA Panda, I am surprised we haven't gotten Kit yet. I don't like Kit is literally coded to be a Transformer character, a sentient car that turns into a iconic 80s vehicle that was voiced by, his arch rival Car was voiced by Peter Cullen. So it's just which is his evil twin doppelganger. So it's like, I guess it's just a licensing thing. It's just Hasbro's Hasbro, but at the same time, look at Funko. There's like a million Knight Rider items there, but I don't know how Funko works. So
I think they should look at that kind of stuff, but it's probably going to behoove them to do more modern or somewhat
Well,
relevant
especially, and you would
characters
know
or
this
movies.
better. You would know this better. You think also maybe it's also the car license. You know,
That too, yeah.
I think
And
it's like we have to get the Knight Rider license, and then also, oh man, we got to go to Firebird now and go
But
talk
I
to
mean,
them.
they already have a good relationship with GM, so I don't think
Yeah, you're
it'd
right.
be
so when I
that.
talk, yeah, so when I've talked about alternators being kind of a pain because each deal is a separate car deal with
Mhm,
separate licensing requirements and expectations and all of that. Now add, so you have that, and now
mhm,
add a Hollywood or producer
right.
studio component to get that then approved.
David
Mhm.
Hasselhoff's head on the robot. You know,
It it it's one of those projects that just takes a lot of time, a lot of money. And if it's not the right item, I don't know how Jurassic Park is done. I don't know how Top Gun did. I'm gonna assume that the Ghostbusters did okay.
some of them did good, some of them didn't do good. So
Yeah,
I
you
know
know,
the X-Men one underperformed. That one was always on
I even
clearance.
forgot
So
about that one. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, you're right. You're right.
And
There's that
also
too.
since at Trans Am, Pontiac in general is a dead brand. I don't think kids today would know what a Pontiac is, let alone a Trans Am,
I don't think it's a kid. I don't think it's a
Yeah,
kid
exactly.
thing.
So like
I
what's the price
I
point you're
think when
hitting here, you know?
I understand the DeLorean is more known from Back to the Future than it is for being a DeLorean, if anything. But it's the same thing where it's like I'm pretty sure a lot of those crossover toys are more aimed at an older adult
Yeah.
demo. When you're
And
doing it,
think more global too. A Team is not,
oh yeah,
global. I would
Y-
go, I'm just looking at my own stuff. Like I'd go the Akira bike,
Mm.
oh
you know,
geez,
10, 10,
yes.
100 figures before A Team van.
Right.
You could go with one of the Avatar dragons and do a Beast Wars. You could,
See,
you
I,
could, you know,
yeah, I could
Yeah.
see now that you mentioned more like a global thing. Again, Knight Rider I could stick with because I don't for some reason Germany loves David Hasselhoff and
Knight Rider has potential.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do now that you mentioned A Team for global, now I get it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I see the weakness
And
now
the
because
last time A-Team was even touched was that movie, and the movie didn't really spin off
what year
more
was that?
movies or anything like that.
What year
There
was
was
that?
a movie in the 2000s or like a
Oh, right. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
remember
I remember.
Liam
Jeez,
Neeson, Bradley
totally forgot that even
Cooper.
existed. Yeah. Holy
yeah.
It was
moly.
fun. It was I liked it. It was fun, but it's just it didn't
It's not
set
gonna.
off a new
Yeah, that's
thing,
not
you
a
know?
kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Horned Owl with the super chat saying, JawzD, I have the full MS Bruticus also. It's awesome. So,
Yeah, it is. I got the one specifically the IDW colored wave one. That's the one I got. So I
awesome.
think there's some differences with the legs and something like that, and how some of the coloration comes out.
We only have 40 minutes left. We're flying today, guys. So, Aaron,
Woo.
what did you get? Get any cool stuff? And
I got
aside from the his tank?
well, the his tank was my big one here, so I'm not gonna pull it.
Go
I'm
turn
not
on the
gonna
lights. Turn on the light. Look how bright the lights are on it.
The lights are so bright.
No,
He was
no,
messing around
put
with
on the
it.
highest setting. Or that? Oh yeah,
Jeez,
jeez,
the high
it's
beams.
like
My
high beams.
goodness.
Look at that. That's crazy. And that's going through the centrifuge of these webcams. Imagine in person.
Oh no, it's bright. It's bright.
Yeah.
Um, so the his tank was my big one, and then I got they made a Lego book of the '70s space stuff.
Oh snap.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got that.
Oh,
It kind of covers.
do you have that
In
near? I was curious what it looks like. The
No,
cut.
it's upstairs under the tree still. Sorry.
Send me a picture of that because Sandy would
Yeah, it
like to
just
see
came
that
out.
shit.
It's
That's
pretty
cool.
elaborate. About the history of it and all that.
Cool.
So
Uh,
that was my big stuff. Some candy, good. You know.
So
so
much food.
This is a new sweatshirt. I got a new sweatshirt.
yeah, clothes.
Nice.
Oh, that's one of my things here actually. Kind of clothes, but so
And
got I
my son got a
oh
Cintiq.
what
Sorry.
did he get? He got oh so he's also doing
Yeah,
drawing.
so that kind of leans over to my opportunity too. So that's kind of a gift for me.
Is he doing that because of you, or is it like he
Oh no,
naturally fell into it?
yeah, he's into the world of YouTubers and
Ah,
animating and
Nice.
well, that's
all that
amazing.
stuff. Yeah.
I always feel if you could draw, this is just my own how my brain works. I've had this argument with fellow artist Josh Perez all the time, but I've always felt if you could really draw, you'll never be poor. I don't know why. Even in this world of AI now and stuff with art and everything, I just feel you have that creative part of your brain is unlocked, and there's always a way to make money. Where people who can't draw can't do that. They have to go work. You know what I mean? They have to go get it. They got to go. You need money? Go work at McDonald's. Go work at Walmart. But if you're an artist, draw a few things. Open up a Twitter account. Open up a Ko-fi. Open up a Patreon. It gives you an extra edge in this world in a lot of ways.
Gives you an angle, but a particular hustle. It's still a hustle though.
It is a hustle, but it's a hustle that you make. There's not many things you could do with just this, out of nowhere. So that's one of those, Me, it's my mouth. Wait, I probably said that the wrong way. But,
Oh boy.
oh boy. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anyways, but the point is, so that's it more or less. That's it. Nothing else. You got that that. So this was an interesting one. Got this in the mail. It spoke to me. So, Aaron's a big Shogun Warriors guy. I am too. They did this line of die-cast Marvel movie stuff done in the Shogun Warrior style. Okay,
What?
like that old Japanese Pope. He's going to get one. So to give an example, thank you, Aaron, because I wasn't going to go upstairs and get Goldorak. There you go. Who do you got there? You got. Oh, is that Raiden? Is that Raiden? It's hard.
Voltage
V. Excuse me. Voltage V.
The things are broken off.
Yeah, the little antennas. So it's a die-cast Thanos from the movie, and it's die-cast, and it's the same thing. I love the detail for the Infinity Gauntlet there. Just super cool. It's heavy die-cast. Like, that's so cool. That I just want it just because it's. I like something that it's a super new property, but it has an old look to it. It's kind of what like Super 7 does. So really dig that. This was something, kind of a story with this one. So Glacier Lord. So back in the day with TFCon, the third-party company, Fans Project, we had a very good relationship with them, and we were doing exclusives with them. And they put out this, and I held out on buying it. And this is like, I want to say 2011, 2010, very long time ago, 13 years ago minimum. And I avoided picking these up because I thought we were going to be doing an exclusive with them. Like you take this, repaint it into a different color scheme. So I never picked it up. Life happens, years later, this and that, never picked it up. And then Entertainment Earth has these guys. So originally this was $60. They had it 95% off. So I think it was like $5.
You got the whole set?
No, just the one, just to get started.
Okay.
And wow, again, just like the Thanos old style kind of thing. I really like that the pegs are the pegs that work with all the traditional G1 combiners, so you could mix and match them with actual Generation 1 combiners. This is third party doing what I like. It's a unique character. It's not based off of an IP or something. And what I love is the box. It's like it's supposed to. It looks like it's beat up. It's actually done like that on purpose.
Like it's faded.
It's faded on one side. It's faded on this side. It looks like it's been in the sun. It has fake cartoon screenshots. That's totally something Josh would have done. On the back, it's supposed to be as if this was a real product that came out back in like Korea in like, let's say like the 70s or 80s, because it's more of a Korean kind of packaging, if anything. And I just love like the fake wear on it. And like, you look at it and you're like, oh, I got dinged in the shipping. No, that's just how it looks,
Some real erector level stuff there.
Yeah, no, and it's really nice. Really nice. I really like it. It has a headmaster gimmick. This one's obviously the Tusker. This is the Mammoth one, but they did others too. I'm tempted to pick up the others now.
That's cool.
This was more because the significant other loves this character. This is the Crimson Strike box set. I did not expect how nice this was going to be. So when she opened it up and then she's like, oh my God, I didn't know. So it's this crazy G.I. Joe box set that it's shaped like a suitcase.
Right.
And it opens like a suitcase. And then you have gold bars. Because Cobra would be like, with Zemon Tomax, like, here you go, sir, bride. So it's these gold bars that you get, and then you lift these gold bars, and then it's obviously it's a whole like terrorist organization plan, and then it's the Crimson Guard with, and here's why Sandy got it, because Baroness.
Right.
Here we go. Zemon and Tomax, Crimson colors, absolutely crazy with this clasp. Like it clasps close. I was like, what is this that you ordered? Good Lord. Crazy. This was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, I think it was, or something. I don't remember what the whole story was with it. I think it was a Pulse exclusive, but she really wanted this. So really, really cool. Got that. Didn't get much. There's a theme here. There's no Transformers, unfortunately. But and then the last thing for the shoes, got my LeBron 19s in Protoman colors.
Are these to be worn or these to be set aside?
These are to be played to be on the court, mister. These are going to be used in the Protoman.
I know there's going to be people who are like, nah!
Yeah, please. I am not a sneakerhead. I wear them, okay? So these are, and I just wanted to say, I'm not a big LeBron guy, but he makes a good shoe. And they're his LeBron 19s are probably about as, if I made a shoe and picked colors, it would probably be this, you know?
All red.
Yeah. Oh,
Oops, all red.
Oops, all red with some gold, you know? So that was gift to myself, you know? And that's it. End it with clothing. But yeah, that's it more or less. Just wanted that. Just really nice kicks. Really nice ones. So that's it more or less. What do we got for questions? Let me just jump into them here because I know there were some that were swinging by. I apologize if we missed anything. Oh, we have to do the giveaway. John just messaged me. Okay, so the winner, let me just pull up the slide for that. Hope I didn't lose nobody here who would have been the. So the winner of the giveaway for the Windblade Transformers Generations Windblade Deluxe class goes to Patreon member Ash Bailey. So Ash Bailey, give me a what's up if you're still alive. If you're still here. I think I saw you post somewhere. Ash Bailey won that one. Congratulations to you, Ash Bailey. Let's see if you're there first, because if not, I have to do second place. Let's see what's happening with that. Come on, Ash. The Cobra one was a Hasbro convention exclusive. Okay. Where's Ash? Oh, there he is. Perfect. Okay, so Ash, please, just since you're Patreon, just contact me through Patreon. Just give me your home address, and I'll be outside your window in your bedroom at some point. You know. But
oh my god!
Leave the blinds open. And I'll have your robot ready.
Dreams are made of this. I'm looking at you through a camera.
We're gonna get flagged by YouTube for the wrong reasons. You know, we could talk sexual stuff and swear all we want. We start covering a song. All of a sudden, we're gonna get flagged.
Doing the Simpsons one.
Oh, of course you were.
And Artie Ziff.
It's true. All right, so just contact me, Ash. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the love and support for the pod. Let's get back into questions. What size are your shoes? I'm a 10.5, which I feel is actually small for a guy who's 6'1". I don't know why. I've always felt I should have bigger shoe size. It's because my dad bigger feet. But you know what that means? Bigger socks. It's J.R. Mina says it's Combattler V. He would know. Philippines have that was that trio of series with Dimos and Combattler V and Voltage V. Philippines had those. That's how I watched all of it. We got a $10 super chat from Shaky Lasers. Toy Robot Magazine will soon try to sponsor when we are coming into. Oh, I guess that's Toy Robot posting. Toy Robot Magazine will try to sponsor when we can, coming in 2024. Okay, thank you, Toy Robot. I assume that's Eric who's probably posting and as Shaky Laser. Thank you for the super chat. Where are we at? Timmy K. Poindexter says, "Can I borrow a feeling?" There's the inside joke. One
Normal
thing.
conversation. Simpsons reference.
Yeah, it's all Simpsons references that that only like certain people will get. Can I get a giggity? Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Can Aaron clear up about why Hasbro will never do a gun Megatron again? Oh boy. Okay, Aaron, the floor is yours on this one. Yeah, look at him shake his head already. While you're shaking your head, I'm going to go get that gun. One moment.
All right. It comes down to a simple concept, and that is nobody wants kids to get hurt by mistaken real guns with fake guns. So there are laws in place in America where we have a lot of real guns to prevent toy guns for that particular incident not to happen. So cops don't accidentally think that they are being addressed with a real gun when it's a toy gun. Now, that's replica. So a Walther P38 or whatever it is.
Walther P38, yeah.
That's even more so egregious. So even if you want to make a fake gun, a fantasy weapon, let's call it a Nerf blaster, okay? That still has to fall under all the categories. If I made a toy hair dryer, it still has to fall under gun toy safety categories. Okay, it has nothing to do with the gun. It's the way it's held. It's the general shape, and a leading edge has to be a certain color. The outsides have to be a certain color, if not beyond a certain scale. And there's a lot of rules to it, and it all comes down to U.S. governmental laws. So there's no way to import that item without violating those laws. There's no way to do a like item in crazier colors without violating those laws. And there's just no way to bring that character accurately into our market. And if it can't be sold in the US, Hasbro's not going to sell it anywhere else. So that's the reality there.
And again, you guys did a tiny one. You were able to put, and still you had to put an orange tip on it. And then a year later, at the NRA gun convention, they showed that they were making guns even smaller than that. That worked. So that kind of put an end to that, you know?
Well, and then vice versa, you had the other people decorating real weapons in coating the chrome different colors to look like toy guns.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So people were
fun stuff. Yeah.
So you're taking a real gun and now making it look like a Nerf gun to confuse it even more.
Or a Hello Kitty blaster. Or
oh my goodness!
Absolutely.
Well,
I thought they would have said like, "Oh, well, we have a Derringer here."
Yeah,
because Derringer like a really small and they only hold one shot kind of thing.
Well, let me ask you this: so, like, where does it go when we get into like, let's say, you talk like a GI Joe action figure as a tiny gun. Like what is the size limitation where you could replicate a gun painted all black, no orange tip? Is it like obviously a 3-inch figure they could carry that, or
it's a little case by case. We were worried we would run into it with Sigma 6 stuff.
So that the 6-inch scale stuff, okay. Well,
yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not entirely. It's when it's a replica gun at any scale, I think you need the actual tip. But when it's a more fantastical gun, I think it has to be beyond a certain size before it has to have that leading edge and everything. But if it's replica, like that Megatron still looks like towards a Walther.
Oh yeah, even this tiny one, yeah. It's so channeling that.
That's where there's one level of rules, right? If it looks like a gun, and then there's other levels based on how kids might use it. That's the easiest way to explain it. LA and New Jersey, or California and New Jersey particular, are where the most stringent laws are set as well. And that leads the country, because if you can't ship to California,
if you can't ship to Cali,
if you can't even import them into the ports of California,
that's true. Yeah.
Okay. Long Beach all of a sudden can't take toys. Well, that's not good. You don't want to violate that rule as a toy company. So once those rules get put in place on both coasts, it locks the rest of the country.
Totally.
And North America.
Chicago. How's Chicago? Like Rosemont and that area? They're also pretty strict with it. I'm Canadian, so what do I know? But that's why, because they're also.
I would assume, no.
Yeah, well, Because they're also one too, I would imagine, if you can't bring it through there, because they're another one too that's like really everything comes through there.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
can't even imagine. Like, especially if it was Chicago, that's the end of that. You know, it's like that's everything coming out of Canada. Hit Chicago first. You know, so if you're doing the packaging for these in like Longueuil, Quebec, Hasbro, hit Chicago, you're done. You know, so that's why I was curious.
Chicago or
Huh.
Boston? No?
I find, from what I was told, talking to different people, a lot of product that comes out of Toronto and Montreal or Laval for us with Hasbro, it hits Chicago before it goes anywhere. It's like
Oh.
that's because it's a
Oh
hub.
yeah, like because Chicago's kind of like a hub of
Yeah.
even planes and okay.
So that's
okay,
why I'm
I
curious,
get
how
you.
is their
It'd
laws? Because then
be a
if it,
distribution hub for
Yeah,
central.
for
so
everything. Okay.
yeah, so but there you go. That, I mean, this question, so many people, it's just like, oh, we'll figure out a way. No, you won't. You won't. Trust
Mm-mm.
me. The only way it'll happen, it has to be
If it's basically you putting if it's you putting a gun that looks something like a gun in a kid's hand, yeah, no, there's got to
only
there's rules on
I mean,
top
that's
of
why
that.
Laserbeak had it. It looked like, even if it wasn't real, it looked like you were pointing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And the easiest answer that could satisfy people, the only way it'll happen, and we've seen this already historically, Japan. It would have to be a Japanese exclusive item because they have completely different gun laws where it's a whole different animal over there. They recently, I want to say 2 years ago, we actually reported it here on the podcast. They did a water gun shaped like the old vintage Megatron. And they were able to get away with that. No yellow tip, nothing. So, and that was Japan only. It was a collector item. You know, that's where it'll be. So if we get a Studio Series 86 Walter P38 Megatron that'll scale with your stuff, it would have to be a Japanese exclusive item, packaged in robot mode, so it could be shipped. You
But
know?
even then, it could get caught up in import inspection.
Yeah, it's true. If the packaging shows, hey, this turns into a gun.
Yeah. Violate the law says this, and if it falls under that, they'll send it back or confiscate it.
This looks like a trigger. This looks like a whole, like a part that
you know, they got to find it.
You know.
They want to go through that. It's got to be more important than the other stuff. I mean, that's a lot of ifs and whats and coulds, but under the letter of the law, yeah.
Big Bad Toy Store back in the day, when the very first Masterpiece Megatron came out, they had to import their Megatrons and glue on orange tips onto the Masterpiece, and people were not happy because it was like they were damaging their figure. So, you know, it is what it is. Collector Prime with the $5 super chat. Thanks for the good discussions tonight. Are there any video games you guys have been playing or really enjoying lately or looking forward to playing? Me and JawzD actually had this discussion literally today. What are you playing, Wendell?
I just finished Pokemon Arceus, and then I just finished Pokemon Violet. So I'm trying to complete that and wrap that up. And then I have a bunch of other stuff like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I definitely want to get through and play and enjoy that. And what was it called again? Metroid Dread. I really, really want to get to Metroid Dread, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet. So just backlogs, basically.
Aaron, what cell phone games are you playing?
Actually, over the break I played. I'm a little behind the times, but I played Journey on the PS5.
Oh, so we're gonna say Journey for the Atari 2600.
Yeah, no, that where you kind of you're going.
That's a real thing, by the way. That's why I was like, wow, he's going really back.
Yeah, no, that sandbox game where you just kind of
skate around in the dunes and stuff.
Yeah, no threats, no, you know, just very. I needed a chill kind of thing. And
I dig those.
I'm playing Physical Risk with my son as we speak.
That's my favorite board game. That's my favorite board game. I love Risk. Remember JawzD? We used to go to Alex's place. We used to play Risk at his place. I love Risk. So good. It's one of the few board games where you don't have to like just give up halfway and just like has anyone ever finished a game of Monopoly? I've never.
With Monopoly, it's because everyone plays it wrong. They don't actually play by the rules. So everyone always puts money into the free parking, and that's what elongates the game.
Okay.
It's always you land on a property. If no one's buying it, then you have to bid for it.
Because really, it's capitalism run amok. You're trying to bankrupt everybody. So if there's more money on the field, you're just extending the game. Yeah.
And small shout out to the Armada board game. It's actually freaking amazing. and I'm not even saying that ironically or because Aaron's here. Me and Misam back in the day used to play it. It's a trading card strategic action figure board game. It's actually pretty amazing. I have I have two copies of it because I actually bring it around and play it.
I think that's a Dreamwave art on the cover.
Yes, it is. Tons on the cards. It has unique little action figures.
Yeah.
What a great board game. And it has replayability because you have all these play mats that you could customize environments, and they're two-sided play mats and pieces. It's almost, I don't want to say Warhammer because that's saying too much, but it's very unique. It's a very unique board game. Really like it a lot. As for me,
just real quick,
go ahead.
Yesterday there was a board game night me and my friends had, and I played Seven Wonders and Scythe. So two pretty interesting board games, and I'll just leave it at that. If you could look them up.
Video game wise, playing Guardian Tales on the Nintendo Switch. Play that every single day. F-Zero 99. Play that almost every single day. What I've been looking at, thinking about it, Baldur's Gate Dark Assassin, they did a remake for the Switch, and I kind of want to go back and maybe play that because I never played the original back in the day because I think it was on PlayStation 2 and I didn't have one at the time. That's about it really in terms of games, just those three. I play my Switch every day, but it's nothing too high dynamic right now for the time being. We have another super chat. God, it's still piling in, guys. Thank you for all the super chats. Zach Lybrand for the $5 super chat. Aaron, what are 5 Transformer characters you created that you would like to see get an update in the legacy treatment? Well, obviously, Vector's on there, number 1.
Okay. Yeah, Vector. I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start pushing for Energon Optimus.
If he could be done more sleek.
To figure out a new. That's a good, interesting one. I've been so lucky that my characters have lingered, and at times they're based on older characters. So I don't know. I don't sit around too much and hope. I'm always thankful. Scorponok probably falls into that list.
Yeah.
Scorponok.
Thrust, maybe. I'm trying Armada Thrust. Sideways would be cool. Yeah,
Sideways, because I think if you look at a lot of my things and my main characters, they have these weird roles in the story and stuff. So yeah, I'd even go with Cybertron Sideways too.
Oh, that's a cool one. That's a really cool one too. Well, the thing is with your designs and a lot of your stuff, it was, I mean, the goal was we were reinventing G1. So you were creating new storytelling elements, and that's the one thing that unfortunately is kind of absent. And I don't want to throw shade at Transformers Prime, but that's where it really started in a lot of ways, which was there were toys with no storytelling elements. It was just Optimus Prime. It was just Bumblebee. It was just this. Where like when you look at Cybertron, here's the key, and there's a story with that key. When you look at the Energon, here's these little Energon chips or weapons. There's a story with that. When you look at the Minicons with Armada.
What I learned over time was that the transformation play pattern was just the cost of doing business. Okay. That's your in the door every day expectation of the brand. And then what is the play feature? What's the new hook? What's the shiny material that makes this one different than the last one? And you said it right. Prime only showed up with the cost of doing business. There's nothing else then to say. It transforms.
And oddly enough, it was was
attract kids.
And it wasn't received well in Japan at all. Oh. I posted on my Twitter the very last episode of Transformers Prime in Japan. Japan had these unique segments that bookended the episodes. Called Micron Theater, which was they had these little CG segments of the Microns talking to each other, all cutesy. The very last episode of Transformers Prime in Japan, the show got canceled, by the way. It didn't even finish its run. So because they knew it was getting canceled, the Microns in the Micron Theater said, "Oh, it's such a shame. We're never going to see each other anymore." And then one of the Microns went, "Well, at least one day we hope that the toys will actually sell well." And then the Bumblebee one goes, "Oh, be quiet." Like in Japanese, dame, pretty. It was the RC Micron going like, "Well, if the toys would have sold well, you know? So they sold really badly. And Transformers Prime in Japan, what they had to do, and Aaron knows this, they had to include like the ARMS Micron Minicon element to it in the
Right.
Japanese version because there was no gimmick.
Yeah.
Right.
But the problem was that wasn't in the show. It was just in the toys.
Right.
So you need to have that.
Prime kind of represents the end of co-development in that regard. I mean, still very even tighter on the toy side, but not that development of entertainment any longer. So that then changes the whole scenario for the Japanese market, and those toys just didn't have that extra thing.
And that's what always makes me worry, because like Transformers Earthspark that's out right now is not being received well in America. Oh boy, I don't know what's going to happen. It's just starting to show up in Japan. I think that's going to hit the ground and just skid. Like it's unfortunately, like I feel that. And it's always darkest before the dawn. So sometimes I'm like, we need a big failure so that we could get back on track sometimes. But it's just like that kind of, and I know there's a lot of people that love Transformers Prime, and I'm not trying to knock a show that you love, but there really was, that was one of its biggest flaws in a lot of ways.
It can still be a great show.
Exactly.
It could still look and feel more dynamic than any previous cartoon, and that's okay. But it also wasn't a good shill for toy sales. And that's why, and we live in a world where clearly you make the one to do the other, and if it doesn't work the right way,
Is that why the Beast Hunters line ended up being a Target exclusive? Or
Beast Hunters was a management forced play pattern storyline on Prime development.
Interesting.
The first year was so poor of toy sales and didn't have that toy gimmick or Unicron battles or whatever, that we were quite desperate to get back on track. That Prime team, were making a great show for that network. They weren't trying to sell toys. So that's when they got introduced to the harsh reality of all of that. So
I was experiencing it in real time, because it was just like at the same time that Transformers Prime was on television in Japan, I'll just show quickly. You're going to see some anime girls there for a moment, but there was a show called JawzD over here.
Yep.
And that was on the air. Oh no, I have a camera there. That was on the air at the same time slot as Transformers Prime in Japan. And Transformers Prime had some of the worst ratings, because Japan, they're always showing their ratings and stuff. Oh, these are the hottest shows, and nothing could touch Crayon Shin-chan. But anything that was in Crayon Shin-chan's time slot was going to lose. But so when Transformers was against Crayon Shin-chan, we just accepted it. We're just like, okay, well, it's not going to win. It's not going to win that time slot. But it was against JawzD instead, which was another transforming robot show that was, I believe, Sega. I think it was Sega that was doing it with another toy company, and destroyed it. Like JawzD got way better ratings, and people were going like, "What's going on here?" Like that's not a good look at all. And that was Japan. But then you realize afterwards, Japan didn't like it because there was nothing going on. Where JawzD, the toys came with a trading card. You went to the arcade, and the trading card works with the arcade. Such a Japanese thing, and that's what Transformers. I even have some of them here. That's what Animated did. Animated back in the day, have a huge stack of them I always keep nearby, had these trading cards that came with the toys, and then you went to it and you played Battle and Chase. I have my Jazz card. Now I could play as Jazz in the game, and you got these cards with the toys, and then you went to, it's such a Japanese thing, because that's what, there's such a, again, it's the things we're jealous of as Americans, that they're so good with that. They're so good with, you're going to buy this thing and it's going to send you to this store, which is going to make you do this instead, where, there's no synergy with that, unfortunately, here.
Now it's difficult here. We don't have, everything is broken up in different categories. So like the people that do capsule toys aren't connected to the retail places. The people who would bring in different things, sometimes we couldn't remember, we test marketed in Texas a beetle battle game.
It was
And there were
called.
toys and
There were robotic beetles that like bang against each other. Yeah.
yeah.
What was that
Well,
called?
we actually put the Japanese machines in American Walmarts,
Oh,
and it was a pain in the butt because you had to power them, and we had to pay to drop power to those machines. We had to have someone come and check on the money and the cards and make sure everything was filled the right way.
you're pretty much a vending machine company at that point.
And vending machine companies have a lot of loss and looseness. So when you're talking about Hasbro and Walmart and now this other thing, it was like, we can't do what they do in Japan. We tried, and it was like, this is ridiculous.
And to be fair, Japan,
yeah,
America.
Yeah.
Imagine how are you going to? So you're going to put out, like I just showed, you're going to put out a card game where you have to go find arcades, and you live in a flyover state.
Yeah.
That would you could go to. Sure, there's at Walmart in every state, regardless. That's just how it is, regardless of where you are in the world, pretty much at this point. But you're in a flyover state, and you don't have those machines. You don't have an arcade, let's say. That's where I imagine, because it's such a vast country, where even a kid in Japan, I imagine, even if they don't have that machine in their prefecture, they get on a Shikaisen, bullet train, bam, you're probably somewhere in Akihabara in no time.
We took a train somewhere not far from work, but not next door, to go play a Beyblade version of this. They had a big thing, not unlike the old hockey rink,
with Steve Bono. Shout out to Steve Bono.
And they have a mechanical Beyblade, but based on the cards.
Oh, okay.
That kind of decides different things, and it was like, okay, interesting.
You got to get Steve on one of these again. It was fun having Steve over. Well, now that we have this system, we'll do that more in the future. What time is it? Oh my goodness, we only have 5 minutes left. Okay, guys, get your super chats in now.
Rambling about Japanese obscura.
Oh no, I think Ninjatron's in here somewhere. I saw his name before. There he is. There's Dylan. There's Dylan. I saw him pop in at the end. James Hopkins, Proto, with the introduction of Studio Series concept line and Bumblebee movie Megatron, do you think Hasbro will do Studio Series 86 line concepts like alternate color versions of Ultra Magnus? Honestly, I just think that's where Toxitron did its thing. Toxitron was just, hey, here was these ideas from the past that didn't happen. Here's this Toxitron Optimus that was a G2 toy. Here's that Jazz that was like a piece of art. Here's that Mirage that was a piece of art. Here's the laser cycle Jazz. That was wild, that they did that one. So I think that's more of a Toxitron collection. I know that we have this concept line that Evan and Mark started putting out. But I think when you get to some of those weird alternate colors, that could be in a Toxitron collection. I could see that. But with Transformers now, I mean, the Aaron Archer era, I have like a different opinion of how things could have been done because how the way you guys were doing stuff. But today I feel like anything could happen now. You guys, and it's not a knock at you. It's just you had a very different rule set back then. Because
we had to have full waves, year of things. The idea that you can kind of do the mission mash, we were building towards that, but not the way they can do it now. Absolutely.
Well, even during your time, I remember the conversation of combiners, and Power Core was about as good as you were going to do. It was something where it's just like, but different time, different era. You put 5 years in between it in a different toy market where all of a sudden it's not kids anymore, so you don't need the Power Core combiner element. And then here's John Ward, and he's like, I'm going to roll the dice, and it worked out in the end. But he also had 5 years after the fact. Now, all of a sudden, Toys to Life isn't a thing anymore. It's the markets change, the population changes, what interests them. It's when you worked on Power Core, kids were already leaving and getting cell phones. Add 5 years on that.
Yeah.
They don't care anymore. Like who is... I mean, I was only learning recently, like, what's the hot toy right now at Toys R Us or something for Canadians. And it's just...
What is it?
Oh, Squishamallows is the new... It's the new... that's the Tickle Me Elmo, if you will, of the...
Is that like they're in like a case, you open it, and it's like a little plushy
I
inside.
I couldn't tell you. I just knew that was what everyone was killing each
Plush.
other for.
It's
Yeah, it's a
plush,
plush.
like it's a plush, yeah.
If it does something, I guess I don't know. I didn't because
No,
I
but
was seeing. I was no
it
joke
is
seeing Cabbage Patch level people killing each other for this shit,
it's
and I
the
was
Yeah, I think we
surprised.
have one in
it's
the
the
house.
Funko Pop version of Plush.
That's all it is.
Right.
Wow.
In a
Okay.
way. In a way.
Okay. I was like, wow.
It's a
Okay.
shape factor with multiple licenses.
I just looked it up going, is there a show, like, or is it,
No.
or is like, did some kind of show just, spring up overnight and became really popular?
No,
But no, it's
no.
just, that was just their Cabbage Patch of this season.
I
And
got a
just,
Pikachu
oh,
squishable. I got
there you go.
generic ones. Yeah.
Okay. So they
I
actually have
got
some
kids.
licensing.
I got kids.
Yeah. Well, that's why. Well, you're
Yeah, I
definitely,
think I have one in the house, and I was like, "What is this? I don't even know
jeez.
what this is."
So there you go. It's
Do they come in
infiltrated.
like a container, like a
That's
plastic
a mis
Yeah.
container?
It looks
that's a
like, I didn't
misplaced
know.
modifier, Wendell. You said you misplaced your kid, or you might have a Squishmallow in the house. I
No, we
don't
have a squish. I think we have a Squishmallow. I saw it today. I was like, "What is this?" I don't even. I opened it. I was like, "Oh, does it? The bottom does it clean? Does it clean your screen or something? Because it's super
Ah,
soft." That's what
like
I thought
a
it was.
screen. You thought it was like a glorified screen cleaner,
Yeah,
It's like,
because like it's like a dome, and then at the bottom, it's got like a soft pad on it. So I thought
not
that's a
what I have.
but yeah, it's again that was something I noticed that was really hot right now. Aside from that, like I we go to Toys R Us every week and walk out not buying anything, and she always asks me like, "Why do you do that?" And I go, "I want to see what the market is week to week." I like to see
Mm.
that. I'm psycho like that. I just like to see how's the wrestling section. No, I'm not, but that's how I am. I am like I have a theory. I have a theory that the toy audience is racist and they don't like black characters. I stand by that. I stand by that theory. I stand by it
If you go
because
to any Walmart,
go to any
that
Walmart, go to any Ollie's, go to any Ollie's. I'm like, oh, here's all the like Thor characters, and it's either the women or the black guys, and I'm going like something's
Yeah.
going on, man. It's that's just me. That's just me. But I always look at the markets. I always go, what's selling, what's not selling. I'll go into the wrestling section. Who's peg warming? Who isn't? Was it a smart idea to do this female wrestler? Was it a smart idea to do this male wrestler? Then I'll go to the Marvel section. Who's peg warming there? Who's not doing well? And I'm crazy like that but to me, it's we go into Toys R Us, check the aisles, boom, 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 and then we leave. We usually don't buy anything, but I like to see what's popular and what isn't, and the market trends. See what's happening with Funko. Are they liquidating? Are they not liquidating? Like, oh, Super 7's putting their reaction stuff in stores. Let's see how those are doing, and those are not doing well. Let me just tell you, like, who would have thought that $20 5-point of articulation figures wouldn't move, but that's that's kind of a reality.
Based solely on nostalgia of that style of toy and those brands.
I you know what? I don't like, look, I get it that some of those are cool if they're done from brands that really, like they did a Rocketeer one. There wasn't a lot of Rocketeer merch. Okay, cool. But when you do it like Ninja Turtles, when you had like even back in the 80s, you had better Ninja Turtles, like who wants a Raphael 5-point of articulation that's shaped like a Star Wars 70s toy?
Yeah.
Like, what's
Like,
the mark?
I got some early stuff like Mr. Miyagi.
And
you
again,
know?
and people are probably going like, "Proto, didn't you just buy this thing?" It's like, yeah. But again, I'm the minority. I'm the minority. Ask Wendell. Some of the things I like, no one should like. Like it's just like some of the toy.
We were just mentioning that Arthur and the Knights of Justice,
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, Cowboys of Mumesa,
Street Sharks. You won't
Street
shut
Sharks,
up
Mummies
about
Alive,
Street Sharks.
Biker Mice from Mars,
I'll talk your ear off about gummy bears any day of the week.
Gummy Bears.
I love that shit.
They are the gummy bears.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Everywhere. Anyways, we got one last super chat, and then we're going to call it a night from JR Mina from the Philippines with 125 Filipino pesos. This is one for JawzD and Aaron in 1990. Oh, he's doing my question. Nice.
Oh,
okay.
no.
So JR Mina. So this is something I always do. This where is it? I kept the package because of Aaron. So the question is what I always ask. I don't think I've ever asked you this, Wendell. Even though I must have posted on Facebook maybe once. So my thing is always, it's your favorite year in the 90s, right? So in this case, J.R. Mina saying 1998. I did 97 because that's like my apex year. I love 97. It's nice. So it's 1998, whatever year you want, Wendell, for the 90s. You're at a Blockbuster. You could rent one movie, any movie, but that era can't just be like, oh, Creed 2 today. Like, so it's any movie. So you could rent one movie, one video game of that era. You get one snack, could be chips, could be chocolate bar, one snack, and one drink, could be a soda, whatever. What is it? So first, what's the video game?
Jeez.
Rent one game that era. Well, what year is it? Would you say?
That era is like Super Nintendo-ish, right?
98 would be we were going into PlayStation and N64.
PlayStation 2, right?
PlayStation 2 would be late 98. Yeah, you'd be correct.
PlayStation 2 was 2000.
Was it 2002? Was it 2000?
I think it was like a new millennia kind of thing.
Oh, no, Wendell's right. Wendell's right, because you know why? Final Fantasy VII came out in like late 97 and early 98. Yeah, he's right.
PlayStation 2 in Cincinnati for years before I
really?
moved to Rhode Island.
No, someone got to pull this up. Hold on a second. 1 second.
Well, let me double check.
Yeah, let's all double check that. There's people yelling probably in the chat at us. Yeah. I totally paid
March 4th, 2000.
Damn, there you
March
go.
2000 in Japan.
Wendell worked in the game
North
industry, so he should know more than us. So.
No, I just saw something recently that I was just talking about. It's like, 2000. Yeah.
You know what, Aaron? Aaron, think about it, right? You were working on episode 1, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so think about that. When did episode 1 come out?
98.
Was it 98? Shit, when
doing it again.
Oh damn! When did episode 1 come out? Now wasn't? I thought it was 2001. Yeah, no, I think you might be right. I think it is not. I think it was 99.
Yeah, we were in Cincinnati. We didn't know we were moving yet. We did episode 2 in Rhode Island.
Oh, we're getting a Berenstein Bears situation now.
May 19th, 1999.
And I bought my PlayStation at a Toys R Us in Cincinnati, and I.
Yeah, well, I remember you told me that story.
I moved to Rhode Island in early 2001.
Because I remember he told me that story because it's like, hey man, you got a DVD player in there. That was the big selling point.
Okay, so
sorry, we digress.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's go 98.
98. Okay. So
video
Super
game.
Nintendo, N64. What video game would I rent? Oh my goodness, maybe F-Zero.
F-Zero X. Okay, that's a good one.
Maybe F-Zero X, but if you know what, I would go with maybe Mega Man Legends or Mega Man X4 or something. That era, like I was
Legends Legends would have been one of my rents too. Mega Man 8, Mega Man Legends. Okay, so movie.
Movie. Jeez, what movie came out in?
So here to grease your wheels, I said Demolition Man. There you go. Some Stallone, Wesley Snipes.
What would I watch in that era? No, that's Blade is after. Blade is well after that, so I can't do Blade before that. Oh, that's like action movie era. Oh my goodness, this is before I even got into Hong Kong movies. So even before that, maybe if I'm believable, I would say maybe Ninja Scroll if I could get away with it.
Okay.
I would say Ninja Scroll if I could get away with it, if I could.
That's
or maybe the Street Fighter 2, the animated movie.
Street Fighter 2 animated movie. Yeah, there you go.
I would
get some Chung-Li shower scene action.
I would go with Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. And then what else we got here?
So you got snack, which could be a chip, could be a chocolate bar. Again, to grease the wheels, I took a Hershey's cookie and cream from back in the day.
I think I would do maybe Cheetos, probably.
Cheetos? Okay. No, that's fine. Hey, I'm down for some Cheetos. Yeah.
I think I would do Cheetos. Drink, I think maybe what was it called? Cream soda. I remember I liked cream soda.
That's that was mine too. Aaron, what was yours? Because I know you mentioned the snow caps. That's why it's a
snow caps. Yeah. For soda, I was probably straight Coke back in the day.
All right.
Regular,
movie.
Red Species.
Okay.
Nice.
If that's in the zone.
And game.
I probably would have rented Earthworm Jim for
nice Genesis.
Super Nintendo.
Oh, the Super Nintendo version. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Interplay. Earthworm Jim. Groovy. Good stuff.
Groovy.
Groovy.
Yeah, I like that word, Jim.
Yeah. That's Tommy Telrico.
Too.
Tommy
And
Telrico did.
I was probably playing TIE Fighter at home
Ah,
on my
on the PC.
DOS login.
Yeah. Lucas games, man. Back in the day.
I felt like a computer scientist.
Exactly.
I had a friend who was like really hardcore into those, and he had the joystick, but he had like a super high end one. Joseph, JawzD knows what I'm talking about.
Was it a Microsoft Sidewinder?
Yeah, it was like he had like some hardcore one, and like it would vibrate when you'd move it, and he was like you'd be playing. He had X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. That was the one we were playing, and it was just like he had like the ultimate experience. His subwoofer speakers. He was like Mr. PC guy, you know.
I play Ace Combat, and every time I go to my local resale shop, I'm always asking them, "Anybody return a joystick? Anybody return a joystick?" Because I'm ready to get one. But at this point, I wonder if they have a VR version that I might as well just.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think they have one. They should. They should. That would.
All right, guys, we're over the mark, but we had a great time today. Again, thank you both for coming. This is the end of year. So I just wanted to say again, thank you to all the fans, all the love and support that you gave towards the Transformer Slag podcast and the Toy Armada too. Might as well use this because this will literally be the last segment. Like I'm not recording anything tomorrow for New Year's. This is the last segment of the year for the Transformer Slag podcast and for the Toy Armada. If you haven't already, go check out the Toy Armada with our new segment that we posted up there. Aaron also did a live. You could go check that out too, where he answered questions. Aaron, when's going to be your next live if you have one planned? Or the family going to be back?
Might be Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm really
is Monday.
Debating.
Monday's the 1st, right?
So it might be Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe I might do something that day. I'm not sure.
Everyone's back to work on Tuesday.
That's why I'll see how I feel.
Not my kids. My kids don't have school on Tuesday.
Oh, really? Lucky.
You're getting the week off, or?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. No, they go Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty.
So back in the day was like you get the 2 weeks.
Aside from that, guys, thank you for everything. Again, all the love and support. Thank you for all the super chats. Thanks to all the YouTube members, the Patreon members. Again, if you want to support the podcast, there's the Patreon link down there below. There's a YouTube join link down below. If you want to support Aaron Archer, he has, again, the link is right there. The archermonster.com/shop. Go pick up some brand new one of a kind. Here, I'll show one of my favorites. I always keep it nearby. This is an old one. This is the old way you used to do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This was one of the first things you did for me. It was this nice little card of Energon Rodimus back in the day. I have it in a nice little card back up there, but all kinds of nice little art and stuff like that. Go check that out again, archermonster.com/. Thank you to our sponsors throughout the year, Symbiote Studios, Hasbro Pulse, always hooking us up with stuff. Thank you for all the stuff you sent me in the mail, especially like someone over there. Yeah, all the great stuff. And that one, that beautiful bad boy. Did they send you that? Or did you have to buy that one?
They did after I paid for it.
Oh, okay. So they sent you two? Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Dude, see what he did there? There you go. Anyways, guys, thank you for everything. As always, take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. World's not so bad as a crazy place as you think it is. When you got friends, family, and people to laugh with, the world is not as bad as you think. Go enjoy yourselves. I'm out of here. I'm going to go play some video games. Oh, and the last question, because everyone keeps asking, what is for dinner tonight? What are you guys eating? Because they always ask us that.
Maybe some leftover pizza.
It's always that question.
I had dinner beforehand. So there was rapini sausage, green beans, and some baked potatoes.
I feel so ghetto. I had mac and cheese before this. I was like, I need concentrated carbs because I get a feeling I'm going to be going for 3 hours. So, yeah. So, anyways, thank you again, everyone. Look, all the super chats are coming in. Thank you again, everyone. We are out of here. Love you guys. Take care. And as always, roll out.